You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
Do you need a car? Been shopping only to be turned down because of bad credit, low credit, no credit, bankruptcy, or divorce? Guess what? Today's your lucky day, because now you can buy a car, truck, or SUV, just about any vehicle. It's true. Bad credit doesn't matter. No credit doesn't matter. Bankruptcy or divorce, it just doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, your job is your ticket to your new vehicle. We're Auto Credit Express, and we've helped thousands of people just like you. Antonio H. told us, great company, got me connected, and the day I went in, I drove off in the car I wanted. 100% worth your time. Need a car? Get started now and drive off as early as today. Just text FINANCE, FINANCE, to 357-911 right now to get started. That's FINANCE, FINANCE, to 357-911. Auto financing the easy way. Text FINANCE to 357-911.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their health care. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your health care, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your health care while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
At St. Jude, our family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It's takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
My name is Jessie, and I'm proud of the life I have, surrounded by military and aware just how big the world really is. I have a unique perspective on life and the world around us. If you're willing to listen, I'll tell you how I see it, and I won't pull any punches. This is my POV, which stands for Point of View. Alright, it's Jessie. How's everybody doing out there tonight? Yes, I miss you when we're not talking. Alright, first of all, I feel the need to apologize for not being with you last night as planned. I had a snafu with my wheelchair, and unfortunately it happened 10 minutes before I was supposed to go on the air. I really wanted to get into some of these things last night, but it just wasn't possible, and there was no way I could get my wheelchair sorted out and get on the air with you guys, so my only option was to literally say, I'll catch you next time. And I do apologize for that. Now, what we're going to be talking about tonight. We are going to be discussing the South African land grab. Is it a land grab, or is it something more legitimate? I'd like to think it's something more legitimate, but it's one of those things, I'll let you make up your own minds. I don't like the way it's going, but I think there is some legitimacy from it. Alright. I do have a Good Guys with Guns segment, which we will do at the end of the show. And yes, I am well aware of all the John McCain ceremony today in Arizona, and if you are interested in watching it without a news commentator bugging you, I tweeted out a link to the DVids version. The DVids, for those of you who are new to the game, is the defense video and information source. I use it quite frequently to get press conferences and official Pentagon news. Alright, we are going to formally kick off this episode of POV in just about 60 seconds. And I will see you on the other side.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your healthcare? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their healthcare. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your healthcare, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your healthcare while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
Thank you for hanging in there, and welcome back to the official start of Jesse's POV here on KLRNRadio.com, where liberty and reason still reign. Alright, before we get into South Africa, and I keep wanting to say South Korea, although I do have some Korean news, but that isn't what we're discussing tonight. We are discussing South Africa. I want to cover a couple of other news stories. Iran claims it has full control of the Strait of Hormuz. Womp womp, fail, and Persian Gulf, by the way, and says there's no need for the United States to be there. Well, Secretary of State Pompeo used one of our wonderful social media outlets, aka Twitter, and said, the Islamic Republic of Iran does not control the Strait of Hormuz. The strait is an international waterway, and that the United States will continue to work with our partners to ensure freedom of navigation and free flow of commerce in international waterways. Now, remember, freedom of navigation is the same thing we use to monitor the South China Sea. Why is the Strait of Hormuz so important? 80% of the world's oil goes through the Strait of Hormuz. And about 30% of daily global seaborne trade goes through there. And about 30% of liquefied natural gas. Now, threatening to block the Strait of Hormuz is a routine Iranian activity. This is not the first time they've threatened it. Won't be the last, and they've recently did military drills to, quote, practice it. Iran is probably going to keep screaming, we're going to block the strait, we're going to block the strait, and we're going to block the strait. However, I don't see it happening. I just don't. I see it as a screaming and yelling match and not much more, because guess what? Their oil goes through the Strait of Hormuz. Well, the few people that'll buy their oil, because you can't sell it to the United States, and a lot of our Western allies have also decided not to buy their oil. Now, the sanctions that we've placed are having quite the bite. Yes, in a little over 2 months, painful U.S. sanctions on Iran's oil sector will take effect, but the Iranian economy is already showing signs of strain. Iran's currency, the rial, R-I-A-L, has fallen by more than 50% since the start of the year. There is now a thriving black market for U.S. dollars as the rial continues to plunge. The turmoil has the government engaging in a bit of a, circular firing squad, to be honest. They keep doing no confidence votes. They keep ousting their leadership that are trying to actually make heads and tails out of this. And there's even a threat to get rid of Hassan Rouhani, the quote-unquote moderate, which, he is not a moderate by U.S. Western standards. But all I can say is he is more relaxed than a lot of other leaders that Iran has had in the past. Now, Rouhani's mistake, first of all, he was like, we signed the Iran nuclear deal, everything will come up roses, we'll get all this external investment, we'll get all this, we'll get all that, the economy will be fantabulous. Womp womp. Fail. Oh yeah, because that's just not the way things happen. In fact,
that's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
Several European countries were looking into investing in Iran, but the companies were all a little bit leery and frustrated because, they still couldn't access the U.S. banking sector for transactions involving Iran. Now, Iranian sanctions isn't news, and White House waivers will be very restricted. There'll be a few of them, but not many. Now, the two biggest purchasers of Iranian oil are China and India. And India, aka New Delhi, appears more agreeable than Beijing to slash their import of Iranian crude in half if the United States granted a waiver for the rest. China, on the other hand, they want to bolster their relationship with Iran. Now, let's play just a momentary connect the dots, and I haven't done this in some time. We are going to talk scorecard. We are going to talk scorecards. Let's start with Iran. Iran's a great place to start. Iran has troops in Syria propping up Bashar al-Assad. Iran is North Korea's trading partner and ally. Iran and China are friends and looking to become better friends. Iran buys military equipment from Russia. Russia is propping up Syria. Russia is helping North Korea evade sanctions. Russia and China are buddy-buddy. Some of these same names of countries keep popping up in all the bad places. I don't think it's a coinkydink, folks. Now, one thing is for certain. Getting into an all-out military conflict with China or Russia is a bad idea. Proxy war, not great, but... And we will get into Russia, Syria in just a few moments, because yes, I've got some comments on that one too. Now, France has told its diplomats, to restrict and postpone indefinitely all non-essential travel to Iran. Now, they cited a foiled bomb plot and a hardening of Tehran's attitude toward France. any hardening of relations with France could have bigger implications because France has been one of the few countries that's actually been trying to work with Iran. And Iran keeps trying to shoot themselves in the foot. Yeah, Iran keeps going, nah, we'll work with you when we're ready. And we're not ready yet. Now, French oil and gas maker Total did pull out. And guess what? That led to an exodus. Because they don't want to get caught up in U.S. sanctions. They would rather do business with the United States than Iran. Somehow that doesn't surprise me. So the instructions were relayed to officials in the government department, all government officials outside the foreign ministry, to be passed on to staff who intended to travel to Iran. Now there's no note about tourism, but the memo did underscore how confidence in the Iranian government has been eroded in Paris as relations between the two are becoming strained. Even as Macron, yes, the president of France, Emmanuel Macron, is going, we need to save the nuclear deal. I don't think it's going to happen. I think this thing is going to crumble. And there's a couple of reasons for it. We won't get into that tonight because I could do a whole show on that. Maybe I'll invite Justin on. And we can get all this straightened out. Alright. Iran and Russia. Let's just briefly touch on it. These two are buddy-buddy. Iran buys Russian military equipment. However, Russia may try and force Iran out of Syria. However, I view this as unlikely. And here's why. It may try, but I doubt. Russia and Iran are kind of a little bit at odds with each other right now, but trust me, they are good friends in the long run. Russia is not ready to abandon Iran. And Russia is trying to get Iran to play by their rule book. And Iran keeps doing, we're going to do what we want. But the reason I don't think they'll get them out of Syria, and I know I'm going a little off topic in this segment by bringing this one up, but we're going there anyway since we're still talking Iran, is Iran and Syria just signed a defense agreement that will allow Iranian troops to remain in Syria for the foreseeable future. Now, this also has outraged Israel. And some Iranian officials are going to pay a visit to Russia next week. Wonder what that's all about. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't talks going on. Just last week, Bolton and his Russian counterparts discussed arms control of Syria and Iran. But that was last week. Who knows? Alright, we are going to take a brief commercial break. I will be back with you in about 3 minutes. Yes, and then we are going to discuss Syria, Russia. Yeah, there'll be a little more Iran in there, but we're gonna we will probably throw North Korea into the mix because, well, it fits. And if the disaster fits, you might as well wear it. And you can, just as a reminder, you can follow me on Twitter at Radio Host Jesse, and I will see you on the other side.
Blood, sweat, tears, it's a calling. And if I can't walk, then I'm crawling. It might flicker, but they can't kill the flame.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687. 687.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
Get your free inventor's information. Call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
Keep swinging for the fences. It's like this heart is defenseless against a passion that's pumping through my veins. Blood, sweat, tears, it's a calling. And if I can't walk, then I'm crawling. It might flicker, but they can't kill the flame.
All right, thank you for hanging in there with me while we paid those radio station bills. Now, we are back with Syria. And yeah, I know the topic kind of overlapped the previous segment, but a lot of mine are because, well, a lot of these bad, crazy people show up in all over the place. Now, we are going to talk about Syria. The thing about Syria, you've got to understand. Remember when we were all screaming, massacre, 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 and they were bombing their own people, and then they, after starving them half to death, they'd ship them off to Idlib? Well, now they're getting ready to go after Idlib. And there are 2.5 million, yes, I said 2.5 million Syrians that this affects. And that's not a small number, my friends. That is a pretty large number, in fact. that is quite the number, and it's one of those things of, when you think about the fact that they have shipped all these other people out of there, out of Manbij and all these other places, to send them to Idlib so they could have their own space. Now they're getting ready to come after Idlib. And even the UN is going, this is going to be a humanitarian crisis of epic proportions. Because, as we all well know from all previous experiences, well, they like to bomb their citizens with chemical weapons. They like to do all kinds of nasty things. And there is no guarantee of what they will do, won't do, or who will be safe. Remember, what they do is they starve people, bomb them, and then throw chemical weapons. Well, even Russia has already been spreading disinformation about chemical weapon use, saying, oh, the rebels are preparing a chemical weapons attack. Meanwhile, all the outside observers are sitting here going, not so fast. And it's one of those scary things of, they have pulled this playbook. They have done this time and time again. They have starved people, gassed people, and blamed it on others. Now, if you recall, a while back, couple weeks, maybe a month back, I mentioned that there was a massive international rescue effort, essentially, to rescue approximately, excuse me, let me grab a quick sip of water. To rescue approximately 600 white helmets and their families. They got about half. And, well, half is better than none. And there's now talk that that all of Idlib may have to be evacuated. How they're going to evacuate 2.5 million people before bombs start falling or before Syria catches on, I don't know. Now, as the offensive looms, Russia's Navy is gearing up to hold naval maneuvers and drills and war drills and all that kind of stuff right off the coast of Syria, with no regard for anything or anybody. And that's not a good sight, because while we are, at least I'm sure, that Russia knows about the chemical weapons. And by the way, Russia and Syria have vowed to wipe out quote-unquote terrorists in Idlib. Now, none of us like terrorists, but that means anyone who disagrees with Assad and doesn't follow party line And that's not the definition of a terrorist. And they want to wipe it out. Now, there are some terrorists that are near, in and around Idlib, but it's not the majority. Idlib is where they bust all of the rebels that disagreed. And now they're looking at bombing it. And remember, they call the white helmets provocateurs. They say that the white helmets were the ones cutting off the international humanitarian aid, when we know for a fact that was not the case. All right. I am about out of Syria. So we are going to take another commercial break. And I will see you on the other side. Please remember, you can always find us here on KLRNRadio.com, where liberty and reason still reign. And you can follow me on Twitter at Radio Host Jesse.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk, or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
Everything is changing. Little Superman falls. Everything is breaking and apart now. There's one to save us all. Superman falls.
And I thank all of you for hanging in there with me while we paid those radio station bills. And there are a few of us hanging out in the chat room over at KLRNRadio.com, where liberty and reason still reign. Just head on over to KLRNRadio.com/chat, or just look up at the menu bar. It's clearly marked chat room. We'd be happy to have you. You never know what we're talking about off that doesn't make the airwaves. All right. South Africa. Unless you've been living under a rock. Yes, unless you've been living under a rock. You know that there have been major land disputes, and we've heard about farmers being killed and murdered for their land and all that in South Africa. Well, let's start with why. At the end of apartheid, which was just in 1994, first of all, what is apartheid? Essentially, there was a white ruling class, and literally the blacks were one notch above property. So in 1994, when apartheid ended, the African National Congress said it would redistribute 30% of white-owned commercial farmland to black farmers. Only about 10% of that has changed hands to date. Why so slow? Well, that's because the government was working off willing seller, willing buyer. So, why are white farmers being targeted and murdered? And there's claims that a white genocide is taking place in South Africa. I'm not going to make up your mind for you whether it is or isn't. I've seen social media reports it is. I've seen official news reports it isn't. I'm not going there. I don't live in South Africa. I have no way of knowing one way or another. But basically, there are reports that there were all kinds of farmers that have been murdered, but what's going on is the black people are essentially, and yes, I have to use race here to describe this, so if you want to send me hate mail, it's Jesse's POV at KLRNRadio.com, but it is essential to the story. The blacks who were oppressed for years have finally decided to rise up and just take the land. Well, if there's already somebody living there using the land, you gotta do something. Now, experts say the primary reason for the land reform has been so slow is lack of political will. And that's because land reform has never accounted for more than 1% of the national budget, and the program has been constrained by a limited budget. The second reason is the Department of Rural Development is extremely weak. Translation, there's only law pretty much in the capital. So, now's not a great time to be a tourist in South Africa, but it's even a worse time to be a tourist in North Korea, but that's another story we'll get to in the next segment. The African National Congress has been consistently reprimanded for its slow land reform policy, and this has been a building pressure cooker on the ruling party, especially from the third largest party in the country, the Economic Freedom Fighters. And they have turned the land issue into a key election campaign topic. Now, national elections are due to take place in 2019. So hang on to your hats. South Africa may undergo another revolution, hopefully this one at the ballot box. And it has become clear that people want the Constitution to be more explicit about expropriation. Now, they are attempting to make a constitutional change that would allow the government to take the land without, yes, I said without compensation, and give it to blacks. And there's also been calls to amend the Constitution in other ways. And, well, most of the commercial farmers that have been targeted, some of them anyway, and I have seen proof some, were served with notices that a portion of their land was to be given over. But they were targeted prior to the deadline, and the people just basically came in the night and gunned them down. Also, look at the fact that approximately 60% of South Africans now live in urban areas. So, is the land thing really that big a deal? Well, for some of them it is. And urban housing is still expensive, and low-cost housing is inaccessible from the city. So millions of black South Africans since the end of apartheid have resorted to occupying vacant plots of land belonging to the city or local government. Now, people don't look at land as purely a hard asset, something to build wealth on. They look at it as a mechanism to be closer to where they work. So my question is this alleged violence or violence against farmers going to now turn into violence over cities? The cities are in poverty. The cities are struggling. There are cases where commercial farmers have evicted black workers and their families who lived on these farms for generations due to financial pressures, economic conditions, and political reasons. The rate at which blacks are being evicted is rising because of the whites' fears that the black workers are basically going to come kill them in the middle of the night could be realized. Now, this being said, gun ownership is legal in South Africa, and it is a predominant thing. There are no gun-free zones in South Africa. I just found that interesting. Now, the farmers do understand that transformation has to happen, but they want incentives and a standardized mechanism so that everything doesn't implode. But nobody knows how the government will decide who gets the newly released land. So what's happening is that blacks are essentially taking what they want. Alright. We are going to take one more commercial break. And I'll be back with you to wrap up the show. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter at Radio Host Jesse. And I thank you for tuning in here to KLRNRadio.com, where liberty and reason still reign.
That's pumping through my veins. Blood, sweat, tears, it's a calling. And if I can't walk, then I'm crawling. It might flicker, but they can't kill the flame.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
Keep swinging for the fences. It's like this heart is defenseless against a passion that's pumping through my veins. Blood, sweat, tears, it's a calling. And if I can't walk, then I'm crawling. It might flicker, but they can't kill the flame.
All right, I thank you for hanging in there with me while we paid those radio stations bills. Now, I've got a host kitty wanting just a little bit of food here. All right, on to North Korea. Russia. Yes, Russia today blocked the release of a United Nations report. Remember, Russia, while China is North Korea's big brother, Russia's their uncle. Russia's UN ambassador Vasily Nebenzia told reporters after a closed Security Council meeting that the report he was blocking the release because they disagree on certain elements. He also said that Russia is looking into an investigation of how the findings have already been leaked. Britain's UN ambassador, who's the current Security Council president, said there will be informal consultations Friday to determine what Russia's objections are in hope of finalizing and releasing the report. She did stress that the panel of experts that put together the report is independent. Now, basically, what it says is that North Korea has been violating sanctions left, right, and center. They've been doing ship-to-ship transfers at sea. of oil, coal, and they might be attempting to sell small arms, light weapons, and other military equipment via foreign intermediaries. Syria, 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 Iran, Iran, Iran. They may also help start supplying the Houthi rebels in Yemen, Libya, and Sudan. North Korea has also continued military cooperation with Syria in breach of UN sanctions. That being said, there were North Korean refrigerated cargo ships capable of transporting fishery products have been very popular at the Russian port of Vladivostok in recent months. And there were 5 safety inspections. And while there were no weapons or anything, however, Pyongyang is currently banned from exporting its fishery and marine products under the UN Sanctions Resolution 2371. And don't forget, these seafood products could be smuggled to third countries for repackaging and export under the third country's ban. So, just because it says it was made in fill-in-the-blank country, it very well could be North Korean. There is no way real way to combat this. Now, North Korea is not happy that Pompeo ain't coming. And North Korea wants to continue talks with our ambassador to the Korean Peninsula. And that would be Ambassador Cho. And Trump stopped Pompeo's visit because he cited a lack of sufficient progress in diplomatic efforts to denuclearize. Just to remind you what they have done. They have blown up entrances to a couple of tunnels. Hey, these could be rebuilt. And they dismantled a liquid rocket testing site. They're moving on to solid fuel, so why do they need a liquid fuel testing stand? They don't. Those are, what I'm going to say, tiny gestures. Now, the State Department has extended the ban on U.S. citizens traveling to North Korea. And by the way, this could end up being much more than a slap on the wrist. If you get caught traveling to North Korea without State Department approval, they could revoke your passport. Oh yeah. They can revoke your passport. And that's no joke, friends. Now, North Korea is of course accusing the United States of taking hostile measures against Pyongyang. Well, no kidding. And Japan's not happy because they're saying North Korea is still a threat. So I don't know why everybody's trying to play nice. We're not. Russia wants us to play nice. So, Japan had originally said it plans to buy 2 Aegis ashore air defense radar tracking stations to bolster its own defenses against North Korean missiles, which will be deployed along with interceptor missile batteries and could be turned against any potential threat from China from 2023 onward. Yes, Japan is worried about China and North Korea. And Prime Minister Abe has said that it will not change its military stance against North Korea until there is concrete, irreversible, verifiable steps to disarmament. Now for the Good Guys with Guns segment. Ooh, I am out of time. Alright. I'm sorry I did not get to the Good Guys with Guns segment. I promise I will lead off with it next week. It will be the first segment on Monday night. I am sorry I didn't get to it. But needless to say, South Africa was a much more important story. So, as always, you can follow me on Twitter at Radio Host Jesse. And you can email me at the station at Jesse's POV, that's JESSIES-POV at KLRNRadio.com. And yes, the race was important with the South African story, so shut up. And on that note, folks, I'm gone.